Hello, this is Sripathipadati from Astrogate myself. After a long time, I decided that a lot of queries have got accumulated, and that too with regard to the subject which I am teaching as on date. People have been asking me about retrograde planets, about the dasha systems, about Sripathipadati, and many other things which are all of higher levels. And dasha systems are not of higher level, but I have not covered it till date. So whatever I have covered till date for the past 2 months, I have once cleared some doubts last month, and this month, in the month of June, I would want to clear some more doubts, and so that all you people who have been asking doubts will have some clarity on the subject. Okay, let me start one by one and start clearing the doubts. So, so I made a list of it. So the first one is being 7th from 12th house, does 6th house represent foreign trade? So here the point is that 12th house represents foreign travel, abroad settlement, and also import and export business. So the 7th from the 12th, this is the Bhava principle once again used, which I have not yet started, but still I will go into it so that you will understand. To 7th from the 12th is the 6th house from the ascendant. So yes, it represents foreign trade. There is also another way of looking into it. The 10th from the 10th, that is the 10th house is for profession, and the 10th from the 10th also suggests trading, business and all those things. So the 10th from the 10th falls in the 7th house of any native. So the 12th from the 7th, that is the Vyayasthana or foreign house, if it is strongly posited, will suggest foreign trade. So that is a correct estimation. And only when both the 7th house, the 12th house and the 6th house, all these houses are strong, then there will be foreign trade in the horoscope. People are asking me that, to make a video on combinations for a big real estate operator or real estate profession as per Vedic astrology. It's quite a far away thing for as of now. But one thing I can hint here is Mars, Mercury and Jupiter. They are the ones who are actually, highlighting real estate business. So let me go ahead. This is yet to be discussed in detail later on. What is Sripathipadati in Bhava chart construction? Some softwares use it as a default. In few charts, a planet can shift to a different Bhava if this method is used. Will it alter the reading of the yogas and placements? As of now, I have been teaching equal Bhava method because it is easy for one to understand. While I was teaching the equal Bhava method, I think if you people can refer that video of the construction of Bhava chart, you can also listen to me saying that there are many different types of Bhavas. The most easiest is the equal Bhava because it can be constructed even mentally. The 10th house midpoint, that is the zenith and the lagna, this Bhava chart also is to be discussed, wherein the 10th house midpoint will be calculated. The lagna midpoint is available because of the chart, and from there you will get the 10th house midpoint once you take the sidereal time and do it. And after that, from the 10th house midpoint, there will be the 4th house midpoint can be calculated adding 180 degrees. The lagna midpoint adding 180 degrees will give rise to the 7th house midpoint, and from there you get different bhavas which are symmetrically opposite. And this is a different type of bhava chart. Once again, Sripathipadati, where we use the cuspal bhavas, where each house has a cusp, and the cusps are defined depending on the Hrasva Rashi, Dirgha Rashi and all those things. Let us discuss about these things later on because these are a little confusing and also a little tough for learners. For the while, my videos might be giving you some insight which actually might help people who have already studied astrology. but it is clearly oriented towards people who want to take it methodically, study from A, B, C, D onwards. I don't want to suddenly go into, starting writing English with a and a dot and a hyphen and all those things. No, I will not go to that level of English. So I will not go to that level of astrology. So let us first finish equal bhava method. Let us do the Vimshottari Dasha. When I am doing Vimshottari Dasha, people will ask me, what about Yogini Dasha? What about Chara Dasha? Will Nirayana Shula Dasha work? This X, Y, Z once again will come. I will once again give the same reply that after a little distance, and when I feel that I have covered a subject which is actually, formidably I have covered a subject, then I'll go into other dashas and systems. Okay, I'll go to the fourth question here. Sir, if any malefic present in the with benefic in the upachayasthana, then Vasumathi Yoga, will it get cancelled or how is it? Obviously, I have very clearly told that if a malefic is present in the upachayasthanas, that is the 3, 6, 10, 11 from the ascendant or moon, here both were applicable in Vasumathi Yoga. So if they are present, surely that particular bhava will either get cancelled depending on the strength of the malefic planet. If it is with war with the benefic planet there sitting, then surely it will get cancelled. But if the malefic is a little far away in a distance, then yes, the yoga will still persist. So, talking about the next question, is there amala yoga for a Scorpio ascendant if the moon is in Capricorn with an exalted Saturn? What happens if the Lagna Lord and Moon Rashi Lord are not friends? Here the friendship of the Moon Rashi or the Lagna Rashi has not been discussed at all in Amala Yoga. In Amala Yoga, the simple definition is, if a planet is in the 10th from Moon or from Lagna, and if it is a benefic with a lot of strength, then Amala Yoga happens. Simple, done. So, for natural benefics, it should be very easy to understand. But here, the question is of Saturn, and for Capricorn, surely Amala Yoga happens because Saturn gets exalted in the 10th house. For Scorpio ascendant, it will not happen because Saturn is the 4th lord, 3rd and the 4th lord getting exalted in the 12th house. So there is something else which happens here, but I will not go into it. But Amala Yoga is not there for the Lagna, but yes, for the moon from Capricorn, the 10th house falls in Libra, because after that the 11th is Scorpio and the 12th is Dhanur Rashi, that is Sagittarius. So that means Amala Yoga is fully, totally there in this case. Though it is Scorpio ascendant, though Saturn is a malefic for that ascendant, I know I can understand this question, though it is malefic for this ascendant, still the Rashyadipati where Chandra is posited itself is getting exalted in the 10th house. In Amala Yoga, it was told that if a benefic gets exalted in the 10th house, it was not clear that whether the Rashyadipati, where the moon is sitting, the dispositor itself getting exalted in the 10th house. This gives rise to a very strong Amala Yoga, which is good for the native. In its Dasha Bhaktis anyway. Okay. Jupiter and Moon conjunction in Kendra, but Jupiter is retrograde. What can we infer as to the strength of Gajakesari Yoga? Once again, the retrogression of Jupiter has not been discussed or highlighted or even indicated in the yoga formation of Gajakesari. Now, there are many avasthas which a planet will go through. One of them is retrogression, which will give Cheshtavala. It might be exalted, it might be debilitated, it might be in Mrityu Avastha. There might be so many different avasthas a planet might go through. None of these have been discussed while the yoga formation has been defined. But still, you should understand by your experience that if it is retrograde, it will act extreme and different. It will not be normal, it will be a little abnormal. And if it is debilitated, it will become weak. And if it is malefically afflicted, that means if 3 planets are there, Jupiter, Moon and another planet very close to Jupiter, once again this yoga will get, destabilized to a certain extent. So, the inference of this particular question is that yes, Jupiter will influence the yoga in a different way because of its retrogression. I will not be giving you the results here because it's a generalistic question. Lords of the Trik sthanas, Moon Lord of 12th house and Jupiter Lord of 12th house. It cannot happen. I think these are individual questions. If Moon is Lord of 12th house, then Jupiter will be the Lord of the 8th and the 5th house, because Leo will be the ascendant. And if Jupiter is Lord of the 12th house, then there might be 2 possibilities, that it might be Capricorn ascendant or Aries ascendant, and Moon will be somewhere else. So maybe the question might be that if any of these, that is Moon or Jupiter, any of them, either of them are 12th Lord or placed in the 12th house, whether Gajakesari Yoga will still be functional. 100% it will be functional, there is no doubt about it. One should not have any doubt with regard to the lordship of Moon or Jupiter with regard to the Gajakesari Yoga. It will be functional in different areas of our life. That is, every yoga will not only give beautiful wife and happy children and obedient children, not happy children, a beautiful wife, obedient children, wealthy parents and a happy life with too many vehicles. You don't get this, you don't get all this in Gajakesari Yoga. Not only these, it might be that you may go abroad, or you may get into a good profession, you may get into government service. All depends on where Gajakesari Yoga happens. It might also give you negative results. If it is in the 8th house and if it is a little weak, you may get defamation, humiliation, you may get into legal problems because of the yoga itself. So don't think that yoga means that it is always for good. I will be discussing some negative yogas in the coming days, you will understand then. Yoga is a combination, that's all. The results might be positive and also negative. So the next question here is Lords of the, that's finished. Luminaries, Ascendant Moon and Jupiter, conjunct in 6th house but only retrograde Mars in 3rd house. Will this yoga give any results for me, or is it nullified? This is a very clearly personal question. I would not entertain much of personal questions on the level of teaching students, but still, since it is with reference to the Gajakesari Yoga, here the person is asking whether the influence or the aspect of retrograde Mars over the 6th house, because it's in the 3rd house. Gajakesari Yoga is happening in the 6th house, and from the 3rd house, the Mars aspect, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, that is the 4th aspect, will it actually trouble the yoga? Yes, it will trouble the yoga, no doubt. It will have some variations. It depends on the chart. Anyway, next question, the 9th question is, Sir, as you explained, if Jupiter is debilitated, then this yoga is cancelled. I did not tell it is cancelled. Debilitation happens, then the planet will lose 50% of its strength. It has been very clearly defined in the Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra. In some places only it has been defined that debilitation will cause the strength to become 0. But if you go to the calculation of Shadbala, you can very clearly see there that the Ucha Neecha Bala, there if you see, when you go through it, you will tell that Ucha Bala will give you 1 and Neecha Bala will give you 0.5. So that means it decreases by only half. So what if moon is debilitated? Same thing. If moon is debilitated also, moon will lose half of its strength. So I don't know why the D4 chart has to be double checked, to double filter and conclude to a final decision. D4 Chaturtamsha, why it has to be seen for understanding the Gajakesari Yoga, I do not know in particular, but anyway, if something is really there, I think the person who is listening now can please give me some more, insight. We can also learn. Thank you. So the next question, the 10th question is, if moon in Kemadrum Yoga is aspected by malefic, that is Mars or Saturn, will it make it worse, or does Kemadrum Yoga get cancelled? Fantastic question this is. I did not expect this level of a question. This is a very good question. I was very happy when I saw this question, because when we discussed of cancellation and transformation of a Kemadrum Yoga, the aspect of a benefic planet was only said. The aspect of a malefic planet was not discussed. You are very correct in telling that the Kemadrum Yoga will get worse if there is a malefic aspect over the Kemadrum Yoga moon. It will not, reduce in strength or nullify. So the Kemadrum Yoga is a negative yoga, and it will gain strength and it will become more negative. So the 11th question is, Venus in second from moon and Saturn and Mercury together in 12th from moon. Okay, so I think this is about the Ubaj, that is, this is Durdhura Yoga. How would be the calculation? Because with Mercury, a negative planet, Saturn is also there. Kindly tell. So that means he is telling, that is, Venus is second from moon, Mercury is 12th from moon. So there is a very beautiful Durdhura Yoga. Excellent. Now Saturn is also present there. Surely Saturn has, caused difficulty to this yoga, and it has cancelled the yoga to considerable, level in the 12th house. But the Sunapa Yoga of moon still exists and will fully function in this case. So the Anapa Yoga has got some cancellation because of Saturn. Because Saturn and moon don't fit together. Number 12. If Jupiter alone in Libra, can we expect 25% Jupiter results for Aries Ascendant? As this question is for the Yogakaraka session. Okay, good. Okay, this is a nice question. I like this because the person has fully heard what I have told about the percentages. What percentage he is actually talking about is about the Mula Trikona. That is, because for Aries Ascendant, Jupiter becomes the 12th Lord and also the 9th Lord, it gets cancelled. That is the 12th house, let us give it 50 marks. And if I give 50 marks to the 9th house, it gets cancelled. So, because the Mula Trikona is false, that falls in Sagittarius, it gets an extra bonus points of 25 marks. So he is asking here that whether those 50-50 get cancelled, but the 25% will remain, will surely remain. You are perfect, you are correct, and you should also see it from another angle. I will give you this point. For Aries Ascendant, when Jupiter is in Libra, so these questions I love to answer because they are intrigue and they are correct. So for Aries Ascendant, when Jupiter is in Libra, being the 12th Lord from Pisces, Jupiter is placed in the 8th house from Pisces. Being the 12th Lord, Jupiter is placed in the 8th house from its own sign, Pisces. Being the 9th Lord, Jupiter is placed in the 11th house from Sagittarius. So, the 11th house from Sagittarius gives more weightage than the 8th house from Pisces. So, it will act a stronger Mula Trikona Jupiter for Aries Ascendant when it is sitting in the sign of Jupiter rather than a 12th Lord sitting in the 7th house. Fantastic. So what will be the effect of Saturn plus Moon plus Rahu in the third house for Aquarius Ascendant? This is a direct question for somebody's chart. I have not done any combinations of planets or combination of planets or anything else in this regard. So I don't think this has to be taken up now. Anyway, 14th question. It's a little long question. Huh? Oh, okay. I can understand. I have understood who has written this. Sir, so except for plotting the Bhava chart, what is the use of surface level Rashi chart? Oh my God. Bhava chart and Rashi chart are totally different. What is the use of Rashi chart? There is a lot of use of Rashi chart. You have to see the avasthas from the Rashi chart. You can do all the calculations from the Rashi chart. Bhava chart is only to give you the placement of a planet as to how much it will be. See, for example, if a planet is toggling between the third and the fourth house, you will understand whether it is giving more of a third house results or the fourth house results. I will complete this question, you will understand. He has gone to the very high level questions are there. Isn't the physical result and manifestation based on Bhava Chalit, since Nakshatra ownership, nature of dispositor, yogas might completely change? Yes, it will change if you simply negate the Rashi chart. You have to take both into account. This is a completely different take by, he has referred some name, I will not refer any names here, by a great astrologer. He is an excellent astrologer in US. In his Vedic book, based on his research on original Parashari text, that concept of Bhava Chalit is entirely wrong. So that is his take. So my take is concept of Bhava chart. I am not talking about the Bhava Chalit. So please be very clear about it. I am talking about the Bhava chart. Let us go into the higher level of Bhava charts, of the cuspal charts. I have not taught that only because it is difficult for entry level. So Bhava charts are very important. Okay, anyway, I will continue the question. Even if a planet is at 1 degree, it belongs to one Rashi and each Bhava can only be associated with one Rashi. This is what I defy. I do not agree. I clearly deny. If Lagna is posited at 29 degrees of Aries, then first degree of Aries is not in the first house. It cannot be. Why? There is a difference of 28 degrees between the ascendant, which is at 29 degrees, and the first degree of Aries. It will move to the 12th house because 29 degrees minus 15 degrees equal Bhava chart method also will kick that point into the 12th house. So I will not agree to this because there are many other systems which I have referred. Let me give you a system of Tajaka, Tajak Neelakanta. You have to refer into that. You cannot simply tell Tajak Neelakanta is a hoax then. Then Tajak Neelakanta should be a total hoax. If you tell Bhava, even 1 degree of the Bhava will give the same result. 29 degrees 56 minutes also will give you the same result. Then that means the whole system of Tajik Neelakanta will go to water. It doesn't go to water because Tajik Neelakanta is an approved and mathematically a genius system which will give you Varshapala technique, and I will go into those techniques later on. The orb of a planet and influence of a planet, conjunction. Then what is conjunction then? Even a planet with 1 degree and another planet with 4 degrees, conjunction is same as to the planet with 1 degree and a planet with 29 degrees. How it is possible? If Moon is in 1 degree and Jupiter is at 29 degree, you mean Gajakesari Yoga is as powerful, because your person is telling that, is as powerful as Moon in 1 degree and Jupiter at 4 degrees. In the same sign, let us say the cusp and the sign and the Bhava, everything is perfectly placed. But still, how come the conjunction happens? The planets are very far away. They are actually, there is a big one nakshatra itself in between which has been skipped. So for example, if Moon is in Ashwini nakshatra first pada and Jupiter is in Kritika Nakshatra first pada, then what about that Bharani Nakshatra? It's totally been skipped. There are so many things which have been skipped. You cannot give an influence between, you cannot create an influence between planets when they are too far away. And you mean to say that if Rahu is at 29 degrees in Pisces and 1 degree in Aries there is moon, that means you will say that Rahu has no influence on moon. Though it is only 2 degrees difference from moon, Rahu has no influence on moon, right? I need explanation for this question. Please, I would want you to explain this. This is my experience. You have asked me this question. What has your long experience been like with predictions or analysis based on Bhava chart concept? Also want to understand Bhava, Bhavam concept. These are all very high level concepts. I know you have gone through a very high level in astrology, and I would want you to wait for some more time so that I will clarify. I will clear one more question before I close for today's. I will finish 15 questions for today. Sometimes we have dogs barking as an impediment. No, there is a beautiful peacock. Actually, it is not a peahen. It's a peacock. It's beautifully. It's opened up and it's dancing. I can't suddenly turn the camera there. Okay. The 15th question is, I'll just finish this question. Sir, in the example that you have given, Jupiter gets debilitated. If it is in Capricorn, would Gajakesari Yoga get cancelled? The same question once again. I have spoken about it. And you are asking for Neecha Bhanga Raja Yoga, which is very, once again, I am doing yogas. I will be taking care of Neecha Bhanga Raja Yogas, Arishta Bhanga Yogas, Nabhasa Yogas, Viparita Raja Yogas, Sarpa Yogas, XYZ. So many yogas are there yet to be covered. Let us do it in the forthcoming classes. So thank you very much for today's class. Tomorrow is Sunday, so I will be doing something I will continue this class, and there are 30 questions in total, so I will finish the other 15 questions tomorrow. Thank you.